morning, boys and girls. How's everyone doing? Good? All right. So I was asked by the staff to come here and talk about financial literacy. So I created a presentation slide for you guys to follow. So I wear many hats. I'm a father, I'm an author, I'm a coach, consultant, and also a content creator. And with that being said, you may be saying, what career do I follow? And the career that I fall in is an entrepreneur. So what an entrepreneur is, a person who organizes or operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal than financial risk in order to do so. So as you can see, financial risk is highlighted. Can everybody hear me clearly? Yes. Okay, perfect. How about the Zoom class? Can they hear me? Can they hear me? Okay. So this is my partner, Craig. He's not here today, but he had some other business to attend to. And we teach people of all ages the importance of financial literacy. So by a show of hands, who knows what the word or the term financial literacy means? A few of you, okay? You want to take it? What do you think it means?
Financial literacy is basically how you manage your finances, money, and all
So he said, how you manage your money and how the flow of your income works. Very good answer. So the easiest way for you guys to know what financial literacy means is the understanding of money and how to use it. So financial, when you hear that word, think of money. Literacy is the understanding of it, okay? So my company started back in 2020 during the pandemic. Who remembers the pandemic? Show of hands. It was a really rough time for me. I had a business and my business got shut down because of COVID. But I said, you know what, that can't stop me from making money. So what is it that I could do? And I came up with this idea to write a book. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to write, but during the pandemic, it kind of helped me figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And my partner, Craig, he called me one day and he told me that a bunch of girls wanted to purchase property. They wanted to buy real estate and invest in real estate. And I said, this is perfect because I have an idea of writing or trying out this information about financial literacy. So what we did was we taught these 7 girls, we mentored them during the pandemic. And over the pandemic, they were able to open up several businesses and make $40,000 collectively based on the information that we taught them. So what we did is we took that information and we put it inside of a book. So the title of my book is called Don't Be a Waste Youth, the Financial Literacy Guide. Who knows what waste youth means? Show of hands. Only a few? A waste youth. Okay, so a few of you. So a waste youth is a useful person that's a waste of time or space. So the reason why we called it that is because, show of hands, I need silence right now. Show of hands. Show of hands, I need silence right now. Show of hands, I need silence. So the reason why I called it Don't Be a Waste Youth is to get that reaction from you guys. Growing up, I didn't like reading. And just to let you guys know, I'm dyslexic. And what that means is it's hard for me to read, sometimes even write. So for me, it was very challenging making this book. But guess what? Because we have technology, it made it a lot easier for me to take the ideas I had in my head and put it into a book. So the name of our company, if you're wondering, if you guys know Drake and Travis Scott, they have a song called Sicko Mode. And Drake says, checks over stripes. So we said, you know what, let's take that play and do checks over strikes. So it's checks in your name and no strikes against it. We also, from the book, we are able to create an online course that dives deeper into what we teach about financial literacy. We also were featured in an article in the Wealth Professional and featured on TV on CTV during the pandemic to spread the awareness of financial literacy. So I just want to take you through my journey. So growing up, I was like many of you, confused. I didn't know what it is that I wanted to do with myself. I just like to go outside, play with my friends, ride my bike. I don't know if any of you do that now, but that's what I like to do, play video games. So I was lost when I was when I was about your age. But when I got to high school, I found a love for music and I started DJing. So that's when I started learning about creating a business. So I started creating a business for myself by DJing. So throughout high school and part of my college years, I DJed. And DJ helped me get through school. I got older and said, you know what? I'm very good with numbers. What is it that I can do? And after doing some research, I said I wanted to go into accounting and finance. So I went to school at Seneca College for accounting and finance and graduated. From there, that led me to learn about taxes. And I started preparing people's taxes. After graduating from college, I went and started seeking employment. And I found a job with, who knows the pharmaceutical company Rexall? It's similar to Shoppers Drug Mart. They're the competition. So I started working for them in their audit department. And I'm going to explain what auditing means later on in my presentation. From there, I opened up a car dealership by myself, and I was able to sell used cars. And then I said, you know what? I'm done with used cars. I need something else. And so what I did was I took up the position of being an owner of this company, Checks Over Strikes, teaching people the importance of financial literacy. So, by me opening up this company, Checks Over Strikes, I started off with a book, but as I was going through my journey of developing my business, I met my mentor named Marcos. And he schooled me and Craig on so many different things when it came to running a business. Like, I didn't think that I was able to make multiple streams of income just from a book. He said, hey, you can do sponsorships, you can do YouTube monetization. Who wants to do YouTube? Show of hands? Not many people? Okay. Who knows Mr. Beast? Guess what? Mr. Beast started around your age. And look where Mr. Beast is now. He's one of the top YouTubers, maybe the top YouTuber. Another thing that I could do based off of my company is have merchandise. So as you can see, I'm wearing my merchandise. So I'm pretty much a product for my business. I do live events like what I'm doing right now, speaking to all you guys. I can have a subscription service. So with my online course, if people sign up to that, that's a subscription service. And now I get monthly reoccurring revenue from the people that are a part of my platform. I can have corporate partners and sponsorships. Like right now, one of my corporate partners is the TDSB. So if I don't teach you guys this year and you're going off into high school, you're gonna probably see me again. If you're in grade 7, you're gonna see me when you're in grade 8. Affiliate program. So affiliate program is where somebody says, hey, I like what it is that you're doing. If I sell whatever it is you have, if I can get a cut from it. So that's what affiliation is. And then coaching, that's the last thing that I do. So adults, students, everybody, all walks of life come to me and say, hey, I need help with my finances, can you help? So that's another way that I make income from my business. So why financial literacy? Simple answer, because I love money. And not the way you guys are thinking. So I'm gonna explain. Can somebody tell me what these are? Tools, great. Did you know that money is a tool? Great, I'm glad that you guys knew that, because I didn't know that growing up. And I like to think of money as a tool, so I like to think of creative ways to teach people financial literacy. I say, you know what, the more money I have, the more people I can help. And that's the tool that I strive to get. So the more money I can get, I can go out in the community and spread the word about financial literacy. So I'm going to give you the shocking fact because I know you can't read it, but it says 53% of Canadians are being faced with the inability to pay off their debts. Individuals are $200 or less away from being able to pay their monthly bills. So take a look all around here. Half of, let's say we'll split down the middle with the boy with the Band-Aid on his forehead, this side and this side. That means 53%. So half of you, not saying right now, but half of the economy right now in Canada are unable to pay their bills, or they're $200 less away from being able to pay their bills. It's because they're not equipped with the information about financial literacy. 67% of adults worldwide are financially illiterate, meaning that they don't understand money. So let's just say this side of the room right here understands how money works, and then the rest of This side doesn't understand how money works. That's some crazy facts to me. And when I seen those numbers, I said, you know what? Instead of being somebody that's complaining about a problem, I want to be a part of the solution. So this is a major problem that Craig and myself sought out in the community, and we said, you know what, we're going to be that voice of reason for you guys. And one thing that I like to do, I'm very creative. And one thing that I want to do before you guys leave is don't let your imagination die because you guys are young. As you get older, just keep being creative. Stay in that zone. Anything that you can think of, you can create it. Who created a car that is run on electric instead of gas? Who created that car? Elon Musk. He had a vision in his head. He said to himself, you know what? I have a vision of replacing gas-powered cars with an electric car. Imagine what you guys can do. You guys are the future. So anything that you guys can think of, put your mind to it and just keep going, pushing and going forward. So with me being creative, I said to myself, I'm very good with numbers. And I can think of solutions for people's problems in financial literacy. So based off of that, I like to think of the solutions I create as a video game. Who likes to play video games here? The majority of you, right? And that's the mindset that I said for myself, you know what, if I can make things fun for the children and adults, it's going to be something that they're going to continuously do. Who likes to play Fortnite here? Minecraft. All these games, you have to start somewhere, right? You have to start with the very basics before you can do anything. So that's the way I like to think of my business. I like to think of it as a large video game. How can I impact children, adults of all walks of life? So education that's required for the field of finance. So finance, you would need a degree in finance to provide a broad understanding of financial principles, including investments, financial planning, and risk management. Accounting, you need an accounting degree to focus on financial reporting, auditing, tax preparation, which are essential skills for finance roles. So that's kind of the role that I went into. I did both, a bit of both, financing and accounting, but I went towards the accounting side. And then economics, it's a degree that offers insight into the market behaviors, economic theory, and policy analysis. So if you want to continue further your education within that, you can get certifications. And there's three types of certifications, well, there's many, but three I'm going to focus on are a certified financial planner, and that's people that are life insurance, that sell life insurance or any type of insurance. So financial planners, advisors. So if you go to a bank and you want advice on what to do with your money, you would speak to a financial advisor. Then chartered financial analysis, their certificate is in they're investment professionals. So they would provide advice for people or businesses. Then you have certified public or certified professional accountant, and that is if you want to become an accountant. Then you have security license. So if you want to trade stocks, Forex for people, you'll need your security license for that. So here's a bunch of related jobs. So financial analysis, investment banker, financial planner or advisor, accountant, auditor, portfolio manager, risk manager, insurance underwriter, credit analyst, budget analyst, tax advisor, compliance officer, wealth manager, loan officer, trader, financial consultant, hedge fund manager, bookkeeper. These are all jobs that are finance related. So if you're somebody that likes numbers, there's a bunch of jobs out there for you. So jobs that are related. So the job that I did when I was at Rexall was an auditor. So that was a person that was authorized to review and verify the accuracy of financial records and ensure companies complied with tax laws. So I would go into the store. They didn't really like me because I was very nosy. I would say, let me see your records. And I would go through all their books to make sure that nothing that they shouldn't be doing, or if there was any fraud happening. That's the type of job that I was doing. So when I walked in, nobody liked me. And I kind of liked that job because it let me know that I had authority. Next, you have accountants. So they prepare and examine financial records, ensure accuracy, help with tax preparation. So I did tax preparation for about 7-8 years until I kind of got fed up with it because I seen such a demand for the information that people were lacking when it came to filing their taxes. What I thought was common sense wasn't common. So I said, you know what, how do I educate the masses on this information, which led me to writing the book. Then you have a financial planner or advisor that helps individuals and families manage their finances. Plan for retirement and make investment decisions. So that's something that I also help people do as well. So some topics that I want to focus on, or topics that I focus on within my business, I talk about saving, investing, credit, budgeting, entrepreneurship, mindset, and wealth building. Who knows about wealth building or wants to have generational wealth? Only a few of you, okay. Soon when you guys become my age, generational wealth is going to be something that's going to be in your forefront. But even though you're young now, it's something that you can start thinking about later. If you're going to have a family and you're going to have kids, generational wealth is something that you definitely want to think about now. For my family, we didn't know about generational wealth. But generational wealth is going to start with me, and I'm going to pass it on to my kids and on to my grandkids. So the first topic I'm going to talk about today is credit. Have you guys heard of credit? Show of hands, have you heard of credit? Okay, so only a few of you. So the easiest way for you guys to know what credit is, it's an agreement between a lender and a borrower. So now imagine you need to buy, what type of car do you want to buy? You in the yellow shirt right here, what type of car do you want to buy? What car? Yeah. You want to buy a Porsche. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Porsche dealership and you say, hey, I want to buy a Porsche. The Porsche dealership is going to be the lender, and you're going to be the borrower. And your credit is one thing that they're going to definitely check to see if you're worthy enough to get the car from them. So you're going to get into a contract with them, and you're going to do a promise to repay the lender, often with something called interest. Has anybody heard the word interest before? Okay, good, because I didn't know about interest when I was in grade 7 or 8. So that's good that you guys know about that. So why is credit important? So if it's important because if you're opening a bank account or getting a business loan, it's required to have good credit. If you're thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, working for yourself, you must have good credit when approaching the bank for a loan. Credit can impact where you live, and also if you don't have good credit, lenders, say the bank, will consider your business a risk, which may lead to them denying your application, and then you'll have to go to a third party, which usually comes with a higher interest rate. One second. So this is a credit score. It's hard to see, but just think of as red as bad and green as good. And you get a credit score rating. So the moment you turn 18, guess what this becomes? Oh, it's on the next page, but it becomes your adult report card. So when you hit 18, the world is going to view you. So if you thought it stopped at school with report cards, guess what? It carries on to when you're an adult. So there's 5 components that are part of your credit report. You may not remember now, but you can look this up, or, well, you guys don't have your phones, but 5 things that you need to remember. First is your payment history. So that's the amount, that's making your payments on time. They're going to make sure to see that, hey, this person makes on time, they were late, they were 90 days late. That's all going to get recorded. And that's the biggest part of your credit report, your payment history. That makes up 35%. So if you're somebody that is forgetful now, you forget to set your alarm going to school, you're going to want to make sure when I'm going to explain later on, a way that you can help reduce missing payments and always be on time for your payments. So next you have used credit versus available credit. So when you become 18, say you get your first credit card, let's say it's $1,000. The bank's gonna say, hey, this is your used credit. And now let's say you use $500. Now your used credit is $1,000, but you use $500. So now your available credit is 50%. And they're gonna take a portion of that and calculate your score. And that's 30% of your credit score. So between those first 2 categories, that's 65% of your score. Those are the 2 biggest categories you want to make sure that you focus on. Next is your length of your credit history. So when you get your first credit card, let's say you turn 18, you go to college, you sign up for your first credit card. You want to keep that credit card as long as you can because that's going to help you build your credit history. When you're going for a loan or any type of product where you have to borrow money, you're going to see your credit history. So the longer your credit history is, the better it looks on your credit report. And then you have credit mixture. So there's three types of credit, different types of credits you can get. You can get a loan, you can get revolving credit, so it just keeps reoccurring, or you can get installment payments or a charge card. So there's four, sorry. Next, you have new credit. It's only good to apply 4 times for the year. Don't apply anything more than 4 times. If you apply more than that, your credit score is going to start to drop. And it's easier to lose points than it is to gain points, okay? So as I said, your report card in school is the exact same thing when you become an adult. You get a score, they'll either say A, B, C, or D, or they'll give you it in numbers, anywhere from 300 to 900. 900 is excellent, 300 needs a lot of work. So how to maintain a good credit score? So you want to monitor your payment history. So as I mentioned before, if you're somebody that forgets, you want to set reminders or do automatic payments. You're going to learn all about this when you get older with the financial literacy component that myself and my partner teach, and along your journey when you open up your first bank account. You want to always make sure you maintain a low debt to credit ratio. So remember when I said the 50% and the 100%? If you have a credit card that has a $1,000 balance, you only want to use 30%, which is $300. That helps you discipline yourself with that borrowed money, and also it helps increase your credit score. Don't close old accounts. That will lower your credit. That will lower your credit and your credit score, your credit history. You'll lose that history on your credit report. So imagine playing, what is it, Minecraft? Imagine playing Minecraft. You have all your data saved, your video game, I said. If you don't press save or you close the game without saving, you lose all that history and you got to start all over again. Review your credit report often. Check for any unauthorized activity or errors. If you have a common name, you want to make sure that you check your credit report very often. Like my partner. Somebody has the exact same name as him, and they weren't paying their rent. And guess what they did to his paycheck? They took money from his paycheck every month because that other person wasn't paying their rent. You don't want to get into that type of situation. So you want to make sure that your credit report is your information and not somebody else's information reporting on yours, or yours is not reporting on somebody else's. Any issues you do find, you want to make sure you report it immediately. Limit the number of credit inquiries. So as I said, you only want to do 4 for the year. If you do anything more than that, it's going to start to reduce your credit score. Use different types of credits. Just start with a credit card. When you get into college or university, they're going to offer you one that's about $500. Stick with that $500 credit card until you fully discipline yourself to use borrowed money. I stuck with disciplining myself with a $500 credit card. When I was finished school and ready to start my own business, the bank offered me $80,000 to do whatever it is that I want with it. But that comes with discipline. My partner, on the other hand, guess what he did with the money? He went and he bought clothes and he bought shoes. That's not his money. So now he borrowed that money, and guess what came with that? Interest. So his $500 credit card went to $2,000 worth of debt. So make sure you understand how to use a credit card before you get the credit card. And I don't know if you guys hear that lottery saying, know your limit, stay within it, Same thing applies with the credit card. Create automatic withdrawal payments for any of the bills that you have, because you don't want late payments to report on your credit report. So what is a loan? A loan is a sum of money that one party, usually a bank or a financial institution, lends to another party, usually an individual or a bank, with the agreement that they will be repaid in the future, typically with interest. So a loan has 4 components. So the first component is the principal amount. So let's say the Porsche you want to buy, right? So for the Porsche dealership's gonna say, hey, that car is like $70,000. Okay, so that's the principal amount. So for you to get that car, based on you borrowing the money from the bank, they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna lend you $70,000, but guess what? what's in it for us? If there's nothing in it for the other party, they're not going to lend you that money. And what they're going to do is charge you interest. So they're going to say, hey, based on the money that we're lending you, we need interest, because that's how we make our money. So from the interest, they're going to say, all right, how long do you want to take to pay off this car? You're going to say maybe 5, 6, 7 years. Don't go past 6 years when it comes to a car loan. So that's the length of time. So within 6 years, you're going to have to pay back the principal plus the interest. Then you have repayment schedule. You're going to work with the dealership. The dealership's going to say, hey, do you want to do this a bi-weekly payment, a monthly payment, or a weekly payment? So that you all got to figure out when you go into a dealership or you're borrowing money from anybody. So whether it's the bank, it's a private loan. I'm going to explain the different types of loans. So personal loan, a mortgage. So if you're trying to purchase a house, they call it a mortgage. The auto loan, student loan. And word of advice, if you're going to college or university and you're looking to take a student loan, say for OSAP, start with the bank first, see what they can offer you. Apply for all the grants and bursaries that there are out there. There's free money for you guys to take advantage of. Do that before applying for OSAP. Because once you get into student debt, that's one of the worst types of debts that you can be in. Any of the teachers, have any of the teachers taken OSAP? And what type of burden did that put on you by taking OSAP? A big one. That is the one debt I myself can't figure out. So stay away from OSAP if you can. Then there's also a business loan, and one of the worst loans out there is called a payday loan. This is something that I advise all of you to stay away from. A payday loan is very dangerous because the interest rate is very high. It can get as high as almost 30%. Imagine borrowing $1,000 and having to pay $300 for borrowing $1,000 just to pay your bills. So a payday loan is something you want to stay away from. And the way you avoid staying away from a payday loan is budgeting. So I'm going to walk you guys through an easy budget that anybody can start today at the end of my presentation. But some information that you do need for a loan is your income verification. So if you go into a bank or a car dealership, you're going to say, hey, you need an employment letter, pay stubs, or your tax return. So when you become 18, you want to make sure you file your taxes. Identification is usually government ID. It could be also your passport, or they have like a government issued card that you can use as well. Proof of address. With proof of address is usually a utility bill or a bank statement. Then they're going to ask for your credit score. You could either pull that yourself. Sometimes the lender has the ability to pull your credit report, so you don't have to provide that to them. Then your net worth statement. So your net worth statement is a very important statement. It tells you what you own versus what you owe. So if you have a lot of debt and you don't own anything, your net worth statement is going to be negative. And the more debt that you have, the less that you can borrow. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of things that you own. Some things that you can own is real estate, stocks, your business, life insurance policies. These are all things that you can own. So how to start saving as a student? One thing that you got to start with is a goal. Can somebody tell me what their savings goal, or who has a savings goal? Does anybody have a savings goal? How much? How much money are you trying to save? How much? $900. A bag? What's a bag? How much is in the bag? 1,000? Way in the back there. $50,000. I like that number. 50? $50? $50. $100,000 a year. 30K. All right, so I need silence. I need silence. I need silence. I need some silence so that everybody can hear me. So the easiest way for you guys to start saving, I need silence. I need silence. If you're talking, you cannot hear me. I need silence. I need silence. If you're talking, you cannot hear me. If you're talking, you cannot hear me. If you're talking, you cannot hear me. Perfect. You got to start with a goal. Because if you don't start with a goal in mind, guess what? It's not going to come true. They say whatever it is that you want, you create it twice. First in your mind and then in reality. So if you want to get $100,000, $50,000, that's all attainable. If just because you're how old, 12, 13, whatever age that it is, that doesn't matter. There's kids out there making all these types of money and they're the same age as you. So you want to start with your savings goal. If you don't have one, start thinking about how much money it is you want to save. That's going to be your first milestone. Next is you want to get a piggy bank or a savings jar. You can't really see it, but that's something that I created with 3D printing. It's like a little savings account. You can just mark off the money that you save. So you want to put your money into that or open up a bank account with your parents. Next is you want to save your allowance, or if you get money as a gift, you want to save your gift money. Who gets allowance here? So a few of you? Okay, so if you don't get allowance now, maybe start negotiating with your parents. Hey, if I start doing X, Y, Z, can I get paid for it? Or figure out ways that you can save your parents money so that then now they can turn on and pay you. If you are talking, you cannot hear me. I understand that you guys, your creative minds are working, but if you're talking, you cannot hear me. Okay? If you're talking, you cannot hear me. I hear conversations, so if you're talking, you cannot hear me. So as I was saying, if your parents don't give you allowance now, maybe it's something that you can negotiate with them. You can say, hey, if I do X, Y, Z, can I get paid for it? Or you can figure out ways to save your parents money and say, hey, if I can save $50 on next week's grocery, can I get $25? That's a good trade-off, no? Your parents save money, you get money for saving them money by creating a grocery list. Something very simple that any of you can do. You can also earn extra money. If you have an idea, like a business idea, you can start maybe cutting people's lawns, maybe planting their gardens. There's many different things that you can do out there. For the few that like to do YouTube, you can start doing YouTube now. If you get enough watch hours and enough subscribers, guess what happens? YouTube's gonna pay you. This kid right here, he's only 17, but he started at 15. $500,000 a month he makes. Who has Snapchat? I can almost guarantee you you're watching some of his Snapchat shows. That's all he does. He makes faceless channels on YouTube and Snapchat. Him and his friend make $500,000 a month. $500,000 a month. So any goal that you guys have, it's attainable. So one thing that you want to do, when you guys get money, who likes to spend it right away? Okay, so what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to start spending your money wisely. If you can discipline yourself when you're young, when you become an adult, it becomes very, very easy for you to do. The next thing that you need to do is you need to learn about money. Like this workshop here. This is not the end all be all. You can go on YouTube, you can go on TikTok, you can go on Instagram, you can learn about all these things. You can ask your teachers, you can ask your parents. There's many places for you guys to get this information when it comes to money. So as I was saying, when you go home tonight, say, hey, ask your parents, if I can save you $50, let's make a deal. I get $25 if I can save you $50. And all you have to do is create a list of grocery items that you guys are gonna buy to eat for the week. And right there's money in your pocket. Now imagine, if you can do that every time your parents go grocery shopping, you can probably make $100 a month. Save that money and start building that money. Starting your business, maybe getting a lawnmower, teaming up with your friends, cutting people's grass. Say you go around the neighborhood and tell people, hey, I'll cut your grass for $50 a month. I'll cut it 3 times, make sure that the lawn stays low, no issues, take up your weeds, whatever. Now that's a summer job that you can be doing, and now you're making some money. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to show you an easy way that you guys can start budgeting today. You can even take it home and show it and tell your parents about this. You only need to remember 3 buckets. 3 important buckets, okay? The first bucket is needs, and that's 50%, okay? So any money that you get, you're gonna split it down the middle and you're gonna put it towards your needs. Your needs are your necessities, your shelter, clothes, food. And when I mean food, I don't mean Uber Eats, I don't mean the slushies from the 7-Eleven. That's not food, that's junk food. I mean essential food, food that you need, okay? That's gonna go towards your needs. Right now, you guys don't have many needs because your parents take care of you. However, if you can discipline yourself now, it becomes easier when you're an adult later. The next bucket you have is 30% for your wants. That's for anything that you want to do. If you want to buy video games, you want to go to the store and you want to buy something for yourself. Whatever it is that you want to do, 30%, that's the bucket you use, okay? That's for your wants. And the last bucket here is saving and investing. You're gonna put 20% towards that. I want you guys to remember this phrase and then we're gonna repeat it together because if you repeat it, you're gonna probably remember it. Always pay yourself first, okay? Say it with me on the count of 3, okay? So we're gonna say always pay yourself first. 1, 2, 3. Always pay yourself first, okay? That's the first rule that I want you to remember. That bucket is 20%. So any money you get, if you get $100, $20 you're gonna automatically save. Because if you can start saving money now, it will save you later. It may seem funny what I'm saying to you now. 1 or 2 of you will remember this when you become my age. You be like, this guy told me about something. If I save money now, it's gonna save me later. And trust me, it will. Because I saved money before the pandemic, guess what happened? My car business couldn't function and I needed money. So because I saved money, I was able to go to my emergency fund and pull money out of my stock portfolio to take care of myself. I was able to save $90,000 in 2 years, just putting away 10% of my earnings. 20% because you guys are young, but for me it was 10%. And with that being said, I just want to say, never stop learning, and thank you for being a part of my presentation. So right now, sorry, Amir? All right, so Amir asked the question. It's probably important that you guys want to hear it because you're probably thinking this. Thank you for that question. So Amir said, is it possible to start a business without a business loan? Yes, it is possible. When I created this book, I didn't start with any money. I started with an idea. And because I had that idea, I was able to pitch my idea to other people, and those people bought into my business. So for example, everybody knows who Elon Musk is, right? Before Elon Musk started, he came up with the idea. And he pitched that idea to people and said, hey, this is an idea that I have. If you guys are interested, this is how much it's gonna cost to invest in my business. And from there, he started off with the Tesla Roadster down to the Tesla Model S, to where now he's one of the biggest car manufacturers out there. Because he started with an idea. He didn't start with money, he started with an idea. So if your idea can solve a big problem for a lot of people, go out there and test the waters. If someone says, yes, I will pay you for that business idea, example, cutting grass. I have allergies, I hate cutting grass. If one of you came to my house and said, hey, I'll cut your grass, you're solving my problem. So I'll say, yes, I'll pay you. So now because I paid you, or you could say I require 50% deposit, you can now take that money, get the equipment you need, and start your business. So that's without even going to the bank and getting a business loan. Make sense? Great question. Any other questions? You got to speak up. You'll make 10 times that. Any other questions? Oh, okay. I think they are coming with something where you can get, I can't remember the exact term that they call it, but there is a type of loan that you can get because you're Muslim, right? Yeah, so, sorry, Amir, right? So Amir asked another great question. So because of his religion, he's unable to get a loan because interest is forbidden. But if you go to, I guess, the mosque and ask somebody at the mosque, they'll give you more information on how you can get a loan for your business if you need one. It's not exactly works in terms of interest. There's a way that they do it, but there is a form of loan that you can get in order to start a business. However, if you have a solid business idea, the money that you make, reinvest it back into your business. So then that way you don't need to get a loan. So if you can solve a big problem for people and they're paying you a lot of money, now you can fund yourself in your business and you don't have to get a business loan. Any other questions? Well, thank you, staff and student, for attending my presentation, and have a great week.